Good evening, folks. This is Joe coming at you. Just getting ready to turn in for the night. And before I do that, I said, you know what? I just want to make my last video in this series on how to get healthy sleep and why it's so important to get healthy sleep. I think you recall from the first two videos, if you haven't seen them, you need to watch them. We talked about why it's so important to have healthy sleep for your health. In the second video, we talked about what a good sleep pattern looks like to get healthy sleep. What's that look like with the stages of sleep, and also what are some things you can do to make sure that you get that. In the last video, this video right here, we're going to talk about how to get some healthy sleep, and I think this one is a key one. It might be for many of you say, well, this is common sense, but just like in my case, when I study this, and I got a lot of this from the Mayo Clinic's information about healthy sleep, it really pointed out to me maybe some areas that nights when I wasn't getting a good night's sleep. This is probably what I was doing wrong in some of these 6 key tips that they recommend you do. So let's get right into it. Before I do, yes, from our last video, the situation is still the same in my bedroom, and I'm waiting for some of you to put something in the comment boxes for my about the fact that there's 12 pillows on my bed. 6 of them are decorative. Been married 38 years. My wife explains to me that you have to have this many pillows on the bed. I'm not sure of the whole reasons, so I'm open to any comments to help explain to the 62-year-old man why we need 15 pillows. Now, you gotta understand, it takes me time to take these pillows off the bed. By then, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. Anyway, well, maybe not that bad. So let's get right to it. Number one, what's the one thing you really need to do to how can you create a healthy sleep for yourself? And that is this. Number one, set a time each night to go to bed that's pretty consistent, and try to stay within that time frame as much as you can. I mean, there's nights when you're not gonna go to bed at the same time, but if you can kind of stick to that same thing, it helps establish a sleep cycle, and that's really good. It reinforces that whole time. Like when it comes to a certain time of night, you start to get drowsy because your body says, hey, this is the time you usually go to bed. So try to establish that. Another thing too is if you're really having a tough time with sleep, check and see if you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours a night, because the experts say that's what you need to have. And if you're saying, boy, I'm so tired, well, you're only sleeping 6 hours a night. Probably not enough. You really should be getting 7.5 to 8. The other thing is, if you're not asleep in 20 minutes when you get in bed, you probably should get up and do something to try to make yourself more relaxed. In my case, I don't turn on my computer because that gets my mind racing, and before you know it, I'm not tired anymore. I usually try to open a book and read until I start to get drowsy again. So that's just a tip I think you're going to find helps. It helps me. Number 2, make sure before you go to bed you really think about what you ate and drank, or what you're going to eat and drink. I don't recommend you go to bed hungry. I don't recommend you go to bed really stuffed, because that's going to cause problems. Number 2 in that category, when you're watching what you eat and drink, is any caffeine, any nicotine, any of these energy drinks, hours before you go to bed. In the last video, we talked about that. Hours before you go to bed, you need to limit those. And alcohol, it sounds like it's going to help you fall asleep, and it does, but doggone it, it's going to mess up your REM sleep, and that stage 5 that we talked about in the last video. It's going to mess it up, and you're not going to get as much of a restful sleep. Point number 6, or tip number 6. I'm way ahead of myself. I think I want to get the video done. No, kidding. I have to get the video done because I got to take the pillows off the bed before I fall asleep. Tip number 3, create a real comfortable, restful environment for sleep. And this is going to include the lighting. It's going to include cool, dark, quiet. It's going to include making sure those things are taken care of. And I think a lot of times we forget the fact that we really need it to be dark and quiet and a little bit cooler. If you have a real warm room, you ever notice how hard it is to sleep? The other thing is you may need to use some things to help you fall asleep. Earplugs, sometimes people like. In my case, when I lived on the Hudson River in Austin, New York by the train station, my wife had no trouble, but I had so much trouble with the trains, with the horns that would start early in the morning and would wake me up. So I had to get a white noise playing by my bedside, and boy, I tell you what, that made a huge difference for me. So look into that. The other thing you might want to think about when you're trying to get a restful environment is to do some relaxation exercises before bedtime, whatever you like. There's several different types out there. Find something that works for you, whether it be reading, meditation, find something that works for you. I would recommend that you avoid any light emitting screens though, computer screens, social media on your phone. I really think it's a bad idea to have a TV in your room because that really could mess up your sleep. So those are some things they say about having the right setting or the right environment. Number 4, limit your daytime naps. Now, we're not saying never take one because sometimes you need one. If you're going to do it, make it a power nap. 10, 15 minutes. If you start going over 30 minutes with your nap time, might interfere with your sleep time at night. So be careful of that. In my case, sometimes I need a power nap and I can go 5 or 10 minutes and be fine. Number 5, include some physical activity in your daily routine. This is important. I don't know why, but on the days that I don't exercise moderate to vigorous, like say 45 to 75 minutes of really moderate to vigorous exercise, I don't sleep as well. And I can't say I can do that every night because of my schedule, but I got to tell you what, I can tell the days that I'm having trouble, it's probably because I didn't get some exercise. Now, yesterday my wife and I went out for a 2-hour hike. Today I'm going out for an hour bike ride. I'm probably going to have a good night's sleep tonight because I'm getting that vigorous exercise. Now that's also something that I think about when it comes to your physical activity and your daily routine. It also means getting outside. I don't know why, but if I get outside more, I tend to have a better night's sleep. I don't know what it is about fresh air. Number 6, this is one that I had to learn this one. Manage your worries. So I have got so many things going on in my new job and so many things racing through my mind. So what I do before I go to bed now is I write down everything I need to accomplish the next day, like a to-do list. So now it's out of my mind. It's on a piece of paper. It's in my smartphone, whatever. And by doing that, it really makes a huge difference because I can let go of that stuff. And also, if you got some conflict going on with your spouse, your kids, best thing to do is even if it takes some more time is to resolve that before you get in bed, because tell you what, you get in bed and you got all this stuff rolling around in your head, it's really going to make a tough time for you. And what I found is you want to get rid of those anxieties or those racing thoughts, I guess if you want to call it, of family situations or any other conflicting situations that are going on, any other type of anxieties. So I hope these tips help. And obviously, healthy sleep is so vital, and you'll find the nights that you're not getting it, it really does affect your day. And then after a while, it can really become serious. And I want to just end with this. As a pharmacist, as a healthcare professional, I'm gonna tell you, if these 6 habits you incorporate and really try them, and they're not working, and you're going 7 to 10 to 14 days with prolonged insomnia, you really need to reach out to your healthcare professional, make sure there's nothing that they need to look at in your blood work biochemically. Could be a sign of depression, could be a sign of hyperthyroidism, could be a sign of some other disease states, possibly that we might need to address with pharmacotherapy. Not saying everybody should take a pill to sleep. I'm saying there's a percentage of people that do need it. And after you've tried all these things, if you're still struggling, please reach out. So I hope these tips helped, and I hope you also already, if you haven't done so, you need to join our YouTube channel called RX Healthy Habits and our Facebook page, RX Healthy Habits, because we got a lot of good stuff coming. We're just scratching the surface. We just put a new banner up. We're committed to bringing you some great information. So hope this video helps, and my wish to you, of course, tonight is that you get the best night's sleep you've had in a long time. Take care.